So as promised, this is our iCollege class. This is our homepage. You'll notice that it's set up a little bit differently than the standard template for iCollege. I've done this for a couple of reasons. The first is that I want announcements to be very visibly present. You'll see that I often post little videos introducing you to a topic, or videos I think that are useful but not necessarily assigned, just things that might be helpful. It's also where you will find announcements regarding changes to the syllabus, deadlines, extensions, so on. So make sure you check that out on a regular basis. The other reason why I have our homepage slightly different is that the content browser block here on the left. For those of you who have Wi-Fi access that's kind of spotty, you're going to want to use this content browser instead of using the main content page, because it strips out all of the images and videos loading onto the page at once and just creates a series of links for you. So you can see just the content that you need to get to, and then that takes you to that page. So for example, the syllabus. It'll load the syllabus here, but you don't have it loading along with images of me, of mini lectures, of tutorials, etc., all on one big page. The third thing to note on your homepage is the calendar block. All of your assignments, your discussions, your quizzes, anything that's going to be graded in any kind of way is going to have a deadline in the calendar so that you will get a pop-up memory. You'll also be able to sync your calendar to your phone so that your phone reminds you to do your stuff as well. So that's our homepage. For those of you who don't have broadband issues, and you might find instead of using the content browser here, the content tab is more user-friendly. And when you come in here, you get your table of contents on the left here. This big one brings everything up in one big scrolling block, or you can go to specific modules on the left. I do want you guys to look through the Getting Started section as well as the introductions for this first bit of class, because the Getting Started gives you some just basic information that you need to know for learning online and for our class in specific. So your syllabus, please read it. It has, in addition to all the traditional things, course info and my contact info and the grading breakdown, it also has things like assignment overviews and tips for success in online learning and general course policies as well as the schedule. So please look that over. The link to the course textbook, my information and contact information. You'll note here, there's my email. My email connects to my phone just like everyone else in the world, and you pretty much will be guaranteed a response from me within 24 hours. If it's a Saturday night, give me a little bit of a break. I have a life too, but otherwise expect a response. You'll notice that I have office hours officially Tuesday and Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m., but you can also make an appointment with me. We're going to be doing our office, obviously, virtually. To create an appointment or to stop in for office hours, you're going to go under Collaboration, WebEx, okay, and office hours. And here are the blocks available to you, and you can just select a box and confirm a meeting, and there you are. You can jump into a video conference with me for your office hours. So other things to note in this Getting Started area, there's the communication statement. This is what I expect from you as far as how we communicate online, as well as what you can expect from me in communications online. a little bit on how to get the most out of course discussions, because it is different than in a face-to-face classroom. The way you approach it has to be different. Along with course etiquette, this is that conversation of how to behave in a course forum. Honestly, I think most of you are not going to be a problem with this. You're all adults, you all know how to behave yourselves in a face-to-face environment. Remember that this is an academic space and you're probably going to be just fine, but it's there in case you need to refer back to it. And finally, the Q&A forum. So if you have a question that is general to course content or to course policies, like when is something due or how do I submit something, the Q&A discussion forum is the place for you to go. And I ask you to do that because oftentimes these are questions, if you have it, someone else in the class also has that question. And so posting it here, you're going to benefit everyone in the class instead of just yourself. So if you have a general question, please use the Q&A. If you have something more specific to you and your needs or your situation or your specific work, then please email me and we can have a private conversation regarding that there. So that's like the overview getting started. Then introduce yourself. This is your first 2 assignments essentially for the course. The Getting to Know You survey is something I do every semester regardless of whether it's face-to-face or an online environment. I do it because I want to get to know you guys a little bit better. I want to get to know what your interests are, what your likes and dislikes are. That allows me to curate the content of the course towards those interests. This is particularly true in things like film aesthetics, where I can pick from a variety of movies and might as well pick examples from movies that you like and are already interested in. The Getting to Know You survey here is particularly important because there are 2 places this semester, in genre theory and in alternative formats, where you guys get to decide what we're going to be doing. And so your responses in Getting to Know You is your voting system. So please vote. So I want you to note that you're going to start a new thread. That thread is you. Hello world. Nice to meet you. And so forth. Yada, yada. So on. Post. You'll notice that there's no picture here. That's because this is a demo account. I would love to have pictures of y'all in these forums because it makes the conversation more personable if I get to see a face to go along with the name. And that's going to be true for you as well, a face with the name. So to do that, you would click on your name and you would click on the account sentence and you would change your image. The other thing you'll notice here is that we have a rubric. And this is the rubric for all the discussion forums throughout the semester. You have 3 areas that you're going to be evaluated on: the content of your original post, the quality of responses to other participants, and whether you used courtesy and proper communications. And that's how you're evaluated. And it goes into great detail, so please check it out. Your introduction discussion forum is not traditionally graded in that it is an extra credit assignment. It is a way for you to get used to discussion forums, to introduce yourself to each other and to me, and to see how the grading works as far as the discussion forums go in a no-stakes environment, because it's extra credit. If you totally bomb out, which I mean, it's very hard to bomb out in introductions, but it doesn't count against you. You'll notice now that my demo account has completed the assignment for introductions, It says it's 50% complete. When I get to getting to know you, it'll be 100% complete. This is how I track what you're completing in class. So that goes towards the participation. This is where the looks begin to get consistent. So every class, you'll be asked to read a chapter or an additional reading. You will have either a mini lecture or a tutorial or both. You will have a screening. You'll have a discussion or a quiz or both. So going forward, I will be tracking that you've completed these mini lectures or tutorials. What does your textbook or tutorials look like? So when you go to chapter 2, it will open up our class. Our class, once you have bought the book and signed in, this link will go to our class. It doesn't go to just the website, it goes to our class. And when you come into our class, you'll see the assignments. These are your tutorials. And you'll see a link to the textbook. The textbook itself is Thompson & Bordwell's Film Art. This is the 12th edition. It hasn't changed drastically in a long time, but it is a standard for teaching film aesthetics. It's an excellent book. And I'm actually really pleased with the ebook version of it. So each chapter is here in the table of contents. We are doing the majority of these. We're doing 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and selections from chapter 11, and writing a critical analysis of the film. So you have quite a bit from this textbook. It is definitely worthwhile for you to do it. To buy the book and come and get this content. I can't imagine you passing the course without the textbook, to be real honest with you. So the idea is you read the textbook, you'll come into the tutorial if you have it. The first one you have is for the second or third module, mise en scène, or mise en scene, however you want to pronounce it. And the tutorials are pretty basic. They're a video and some questions. It's really important to me that you do these. They are tracked when it comes to your mini lectures tutorials as part of your participation grade. You can take them as many times as you want until you get the grade that you want. So you don't have to worry about that. And you can continue taking it even after the assignment is due. So you can use it for practice for the exam. So that brings us to mise en scène. In iCollege is where your quizzes and exams will be, and it's an important thing to note for you guys. Your quizzes are 5 questions long. They're 15 minutes for duration. I don't want them to be arduous. I don't want them to be difficult. I want them to be quick reading checks. That being said, you can take them as many times as you want to until you've earned a grade that you desire, up until the deadline for that assignment. However, the quiz questions are coming from a very big pool of questions. So you're going to get rando questions each time you take the quiz. So you're not going to get the same ones over and over again. So it behooves you to really read the chapter before attempting the quiz. And then if you feel like, oh, this is a section I just don't remember, go back and look at it. But if you try to take this quiz without having to read the chapter and trying to look up the answers, you're going to crash and burn. So do read the chapter before attempting the quiz. And that's really all of the content that we have going on in the class. There's screenings, which again are always going to be on iCollege, or links in iCollege to other GSU content services. I've worked really hard that the only thing you have to pay for outside of tuition is the textbook, and there's just no way around the textbook. So with that, I think we've done the overview of the class. So if you have any questions, please hit me up in the Q&A forum. Thanks.